Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Be Perfectly Blended. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, thanks for joining me. Today we got a lot of yard work to do in the front yard, but I'm first going to start by making breakfast. The last time I went to Costco, I got this big container of these croissants. And so now I'm going to use what is left over and make French toast on my skillet. So here are some of the ingredients I use. I use a little cinnamon, milk. I like to put creamer into my egg mixture. And then I'll go ahead and whip that together and I will soak the croissants in that. I've got my butter already pre-cut and I like to put butter on my skillet. And then I'm going to go ahead and make some hash browns, boom, and some bacon for my husband. And while I have the oil warming up in the skillet for my hash browns, I'll go ahead and put together my egg mixture to make my croissant French toast. So depending on how many pieces of French toast you're making will depend on how many eggs you're using. Since I'm making quite a bit and I do like mine to soak in the eggs, I am using quite a bit of eggs. Then I'll add some milk. And I will add some creamer, some cinnamon, and then I will put a splash of vanilla in and mix it all together. Using a serrated or a bread knife, just go ahead and cut the croissants right in half. Next, what I do is I just take the mixture and pour it right in the container, since it's plastic, that the croissants came in, instead of dirtying up another dish. And then I just lay them completely flat, face down, and then I cover them some more with the egg mixture and just let it soak for a little while. Make sure you save a little bit of the egg mixture for later. And while that's soaking, I went ahead and started on the rest of the breakfast, put the bacon in, and now I'm working on my potatoes. As usual, I'm using onion powder, garlic powder, seasoning salt, and pepper to season my hash browns. Here I'm just drizzling a little more of the egg mixture, and then I'm about to flip the pieces over. Once they're flipped over, I'll go ahead and use the remainder of the egg mixture and get it all covered and let them just soak for a few more minutes. Here I'm just cracking eggs to make scrambled eggs. But look, when I cracked the eggs, the little face they made. So cute. I do use milk when I make scrambled eggs, and then I add a little salt and pepper for flavoring. Here, I'm taking the pats of butter, and I'm melting them on the griddle and in the skillet before I add the scrambled eggs. And my potatoes are coming along just nicely. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the pieces of croissant on the griddle. And I just cook them on the griddle just as if I was making regular French toast, just keeping an eye on it. Here I'm just adding a little more butter into the skillet. I'm going to go ahead and make my husband's eggs. He likes his eggs fried hard. And I also just add a little salt and pepper for flavoring. All right, now that my first batch of French toast is done, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the griddle, and then I'll add a little more butter, and I'm going to put my last few pieces on, and then I just take the plastic container and rinse it out real well, and I can put it out for recycle. Here I'm just plating up the food. This is for my son. He likes to have ketchup with his hash browns. Anyone else like ketchup with their hash browns? Leave a comment down below if you do. And next I'll plate up my husband's food. Then I will go ahead and eat, and we'll get out here and get the yard work done. So about 2 weeks ago, my son and I went to Home Depot. I've had that in a previous video, and we got a bunch of bark, and now the weather is permitting us to go ahead and put that down. So while my son laid the bark on the side of the house, I went ahead and did some weed whacking. These are my weed whacking Uggs from about 3 years ago. Anyways, this is the little flower bed in front of my house. It's not very large, but you can see over the winter it's overgrown a little, so we're going to get in there, get the weeds out. Look at this. These are all leaves. They're like stuck together into the bird bath. Yeah. So I got that cleaned out, needless to say. But back here we're just weeding and getting a lot of these old leaves and things raked up so we can eventually lay down the new bark. It's funny, you can hear our ice cream man in the back. We have had the same ice cream man for 17 years with the same song playing. Back here, I'm in the thick of it, just really trying to get all these weeds out. And then my son was able to do a little pruning throughout the bushes and stuff, so it looks much better. There was also just quite a bit of leaves on the ground from my trees and bushes through the winter. But I mean, the ground back here was really covered, so we did have to get in there and get a little raking done. And then here I have this ivy that kind of grows alongside here, and I just really wanted to get the edging and things cleaned up there. And finally, now that the weeding's done, we can lay down the bark. And here it is, all done. Once we were able to lay the bark all back through here, my son, like I said, was able to do some pruning. So it looks really, really nice. Anyone else just absolutely love the smell of bark? I think the smell of bark and freshly cut grass, it just says spring. But I was pleasantly pleased with how well this turned out. And here's a little front view. But now you're about to see our next project we had to do the following day, which was get some of this ivy out from underneath the stairs. So here's what it's looking like. Yeah, quite a bit of ivy. Now, the one part that made it easy, if you look here, I did have black cloth laid down from years ago, from before. And so roots really didn't go all the way through or really, really deep down. There were parts here you see I'm cutting at. But really, I basically kind of cut a little and pulled back, cut a little and pulled back. And it seemed to work pretty well. I also found a few little gems back here or under here, I should say, as I was getting the ivy out. Here's a little friend. Once I was under the stairs giving this ivy a few more clips, my husband was able to pull it all out in kind of one big bunch, and we got the bark put down, and it looks so much better. I'm so pleased. So I'll give you a quick overview here in a minute as I'm finishing up this video, but I just wanted to say thanks so much for coming along with me. Please feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you in the next one.